G7 leaders plan talks today to coordinate their approach to Syria's rebel leadership. The group of the world's leading industrialized countries has already stated that it would lend its full support to the transition for a government that is inclusive and non-sectarian. The rebels are largely in control of Syria now, and a sense of normalcy is returning to many places.
Just days after the fall of Bashar al-Assad's government, life appears to be returning to normal in the Syrian capital of Damascus. The curfew imposed on residents after his ousting has now been relaxed. Shops are open again, and people are out buying clothes and food.
The market was closed for about 2 days. Then we opened again, but just until 5 p.m. We had a curfew because there were a few robberies. Some people had weapons and were shooting at each other. It was a mess.
Now things are fine. We now feel a lot better. We can move around. Everything is okay.
But as things return to normal, news of some of the most brutal aspects of the Assad regime is emerging. Hundreds gathered for the funeral of well-known opposition activist Mazen al-Hamada. He died from torture in one of Assad's notorious prisons. In death, he has become a symbol of the horrors that the old government was prepared to inflict on anyone who spoke out.
Who was not afraid to challenge this system. Assad, he was so courageous. We are so proud of him. We are so proud of him.
I thought he would leave prison and speak out. But when I found out he had been executed, my heart was broken to see he wasn't alive.
We still don't know what's going to happen in Syria. We are still here to show people that we will live and that we will prosper. And Syria will be built again with our own hands, the young people.
Remnants of the old regime are being removed all over the country. The old red, white and black flag on this shop front is being painted over. A metaphor for a country wanting to start anew.
DW Stella Mena is in the Syrian capital Damascus, and I asked her if the situation in the country was beginning to stabilize.
Well, we have to keep in mind that, first of all, there is still a momentum where there are new rules set, and the old rules are not valid anymore. So there is a lot of uncertainty, and there also is like a little bit of a power vacuum. Yesterday, the new government has announced that the old constitution will not be valid anymore for the next 3 months. So things are really a little bit uncertain. We also should keep in mind that there is still conflict going on in the country and military actions. Yesterday, 40 people got wounded in the northern city of Raqqa. These were activists who were celebrating the fall of Assad and that were protesting in favor of HTS. And they are accusing the Kurdish-led SDF that they have shot these activists or on these activists.
Now, Stella, there are plenty of outside actors interested in influencing developments in Syria. Who's been most active so far in this past week?
Well, mainly all the foreign forces that have already shown their interest for many, many years here in Syria are trying to influence the transition process again. First of all, of course, we have the countries who are in favor and supporting the new government. We have, for example, Qatar, that has said that they want to reopen the embassy. Turkey also mentioned that they want to reopen the embassy. And the chief of the Turkish intelligence has paid a visit to Damascus yesterday. Then we also have Turkey and the US. The US Secretary of State Blinken met yesterday with the Turkish President Erdogan. This is important because the US is supporting the Kurdish forces in the north in their fight against ISIS, but these forces are seen by Turkey as terrorists. So this is why the conflict is still ongoing, despite the ceasefire yesterday. And of course, we have Israel. Israel has carried out many airstrikes in the last couple of days and is also advancing further into the Syrian territory. The Syrian Observatory of Human Rights has mentioned that Israel's forces are now in Mount Hermon.
Members of the Syrian diaspora around the world are eager to return to the country, either to visit for the first time in many years or to move back. But some are also leaving Syria. Why is that?
Yes, indeed. And I myself could witness that as well when I was crossing from Lebanon into Syria, because there was a huge queue on the Lebanese border of thousands of people who wanted to leave Syria for various different reasons. There are some people who were supporters of Assad and who are now afraid that they will face consequences. But there are also people who belong to minorities, such as Christians or Kurds, who say that they are worried that they might not be granted rights and that they might experience suppression as well. I have talked to many Christians in the last couple of days, and they say they are completely worried, that they feel like they will soon be the ones that will suffer the new government. But we also have to keep in mind that Assad really used the sentences for years and years, and he was telling and justifying also his power by telling other minorities like the Christian that without him they would be suppressed.
Yeah, and the Islamist rebels have, of course, vowed to protect minorities. That was DW correspondent Stella Mena in Damascus. Thank you.